Your fucking desk.
Yeah, that's harmonics for you. Okay. I believe I already set my titles. Let me check. I did. Okay.
Who is my second person viewing my stream? Is that you, or?
Possibly. I'm seeing 0, but
It started I think it always starts at 0 at first, and then it, like, updates. I'm seeing 2, and one of those is me.
well, we shall see. So,
Yep, I'm gonna go refill my Kool-Aid.
figuring about 5 minutes or so, and then we can get started.
This will probably put me at, like... I would be surprised if it didn't put me at, like, trophy level 283 or very close to it. I think platinums are weighted very heavily now.
Interesting. I don't know. What do you think? Is 5 minutes good, or should we wait a little bit longer?
I don't know how long yours has been going.
Mine just hit 5 minutes.
I usually wait for like 10.
Yeah.
Looking at this like red thing from a few years ago on Reddit, it really is kind of surprising to me just how few like steps are involved in, you know, making like, you know, like your fire magic stronger in that game, whereas all of the other like extra steps you have to go through to do that in Cage 3. Because aside from grinding your dry form levels so that way they're more sustainable as combat options, you don't really have to do anything. All you need is like certain dry forms and like a specific keyblade, which are all things that you're going to get by virtue of progressing the story, unless we're talking about final form.
I have no idea what you're talking about, but I'm glad you find it interesting.
It's just, it really bothers me, because like, I mean, Cage 2 is supposedly like a really good action RPG, but you don't really have to make any actual choices. You don't really have to make a build, and when you do make one, most of the things that you can use to make a build are things that you get by doing the story. So there's nothing like, you can't miss any of the upgrades, or at least some of them. There's a lot less steps involved in making your like combat tools more powerful. And
Okay.
It's one of those things that you really have to kind of actually experience, I think, after playing through all of the games in order to really understand just how like shallow it is. It really is just like, I mean we shit on like Dark Souls 3 for being more of an action game, but like at least you have to make choices. You can't just, your pyromancy isn't going to be like inherently strong, or your sorcery or whatever physical damage you want. You have to actually like upgrade them over time. In Cage 2, you get like Wisdom Form and then the Bond of Flame Keyblade later in the game, and that's kind of it. There's nothing else. Oh, and your fire spell upgrades to get more powerful versions of the spell, those are also story progress, so...
10 fucking fabulous.
You like grinding certain types of levels in order to obtain the ability to dodge attacks?
To obtain the ability to dodge?
Yes.
No. No, that's
Welcome
dumb.
to Kingdom Hearts 2.
Yeah. Like, if people complain about the agility system in Dark Souls 2, but you can dodge perfectly fine with minimum adaptability, minimum agility. It's just a question of it gets better when you upgrade those stats. You know, when you upgrade adaptability or attunement.
Yeah, that's not what I'm talking about.
Yeah, so that's the thing. Like,
In 2FM, like, I think in the Final Mix version they made it a bit better, but like, at minimum you have to go out of your way to kill like a certain amount of Heartless with Wisdom Form to get like your one of two like ground dodge abilities, and even then that's only the level 1 variant. I think you have to kill like 30 or so, at 31 or so Heartless with it, but it's just like, they make you grind like all of the dry forms in order to be able to have like an optimal means of dealing with like the optional post-game super bosses. And even then, the base like story bosses are generally expecting you to have some of those abilities. So I literally, like, when I was a kid, I literally finished my first playthrough of the game on the original release of the game on the PS2 on standard difficulty without ever obtaining any of the, like, movement abilities. Which is just... it's really garbage design. But it's such a flaw that in Kingdom Hearts 3, you're quote-unquote forced to grind accessories at level 1 to increase your damage output.
I hate being, like, so passive and dismissive. Not dismissive, like, but seeming dismissive. Yeah, or, like, 10 minutes. I just have no idea what you're talking about.
Yeah. Well, the TLDR is that KH2 forces you to grind to some extent in order to obtain the ability to dodge attacks.
Okay.
Apparently my PlayStation turned off. Let me...
That's nice.
I'm going to briefly stop my stream and then literally just pick it back up, like, immediately after I double check and make sure that I'm not going to flash the real name associated with my account. I local record, so it's not going to matter.